So ever since the end of the fight, we've been seeing a lot of reports coming out from Deontay Wilder. And I gotta be honest, many of them aren't good. Many of them are not good, right? But primarily, the one that we're talking about here is his excuse for losing the fight. You know, the man comes out in the ring directly after the fight, you know, while he's getting his gloves removed and his tape cut off, and he's saying, first thing he says, hey, no excuses. Tyson Fury beat me tonight, no excuses. And immediately after that, and ever since then, all he's going on to do is continue to list excuses for why he feels he lost the fight. Okay, and the primary one being the walkout outfit. It's rough, man. It's rough. This man says he put on that walkout outfit, which I believe, if I remember correctly, I saw reports prior to the fight saying that he spent like 40 grand on it, right? I don't know if those were black diamonds and rubies or whatever it is, but supposedly the man spent $40,000 on that walkout outfit. Okay, which you and I look and say, man, that's really extreme. That's excessive. But he was getting paid, I believe, a minimum of $25 million for the fight plus pay-per-view. So 40 grand in that regard is a drop in the bucket. You know, he seems to embrace the theatrics a little bit, which is cool, right? That's cool in the game, right? Like everybody's free to do that, man. More power to him, right? That's cool. But the issue is he puts on this costume, says that it weighs 40 pounds. He got tired walking out to the ring. His legs are shot from the opening bell, and that's why he ends up getting beat on and smoked by Tyson Fury. You gotta be kidding me. You can't be serious. You can't be serious. This is what you're using as your excuse for losing the biggest fight of your entire life. Could not be bigger, right? This is the rematch, and you knew how legit this guy was because you just got done fighting him. So you can't even come in and say, oh, I didn't really think he was going to be as good as he was. He caught me off guard a little bit. I was slipping. No, you just got done fighting this man for 12 rounds, and he basically gave you a masterclass at that point. Got lucky to walk away with the draw and hang on to your belt. Only thing you had going for you in that fight was the 2 knockdowns because you got the nuclear power in your right hand. And then you come out and now say, I put on this outfit. And on top of it, there were reports that he tried it on the night before. So it's not even like it was brand new, which makes sense. Why would you try it on brand new for the first time fight night? You know? So look, it's a lot of people have come out and said a lot of things about this. A lot of big names, right? Guys like Stephen A. Smith with ESPN, Max Kellerman with ESPN, Teddy Atlas, Joe Rogan. A lot of people have come out. Basically, everyone seems to have the same opinion that I have, and that's that it's ridiculous. Okay? It's ridiculous that you would come out and say this, that this is the way that you would play things, to use as your excuse for why you didn't see this one through. Okay? Why this fight didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to turn out. It's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy, you know, but it is what it is. But here's the thing. Everybody out there who's met Deontay Wilder, even for short periods of time, like doing interviews and stuff like that, everybody out there seems to say the same thing, like, man, he's a great guy. Man, this is a genuine guy. He's authentic. He's really nice. He's kind. He's open. And I believe it all. I have absolutely zero reason to call any of those people wrong or to say anything bad in that regard about Deontay Wilder, right? That's not what this is about. Like when people refer to him as a bully, he's not a bully in real life. They're referring to the way that he fights in the ring, his style. And it's because he utilizes that power. He's very aggressive. He comes out there and wants to land big shots on people. That's a style. That's not a personality trait. Okay, so let's just get that clear, right? The man is not a bad person by any stretch of the imagination from anything that I've been able to see, right? And I'm not an insider or anything. I don't know him personally, but just all of these people, right? And anything that he's actually done if you look at his actions, okay? But this isn't good. This isn't good at all that he's going to come out and say this, right? I mean, it's embarrassing to a degree to say that, you know? And I'm from a different school of thought, right? And I'll give you an example here. I think, well, first I'll say this. I'm from a different school of thought. I believe that no matter what happens, even if you have a legitimate excuse, oh, I injured my shoulder 2 weeks before the fight. Oh, I twisted my knee in the first round, and then the rest of the fight I had less mobility or something like that. Right? Things happen. Things happen. You are not going to come into fights at 100%. Maybe you'll come in once you're at this level because the sparring so hard and the training so hard, you probably come into no fights at 100%. But even if some of them you do, you're definitely not going to come into every one. But that's the game, man. That's the game. That's how it goes. You just take it as it is and you keep it moving, right? You don't make excuses for it. You don't come in and blame it on something else. For a few reasons. Number one, it looks weak. Okay? It doesn't look good. It's hard. It's just hard to continue to hold a man in high regard and have respect for him when he wants to come on and constantly make excuses. Particularly if you're talking about something like an injury where the other guy was likely going through the same type of stuff. Right? And then the second reason is you don't want to take away from the other man's victory. Okay? Tyson Fury went out there and fought a beautiful fight, a masterful fight. And when you come out and you attempt to make excuses on why you lost, in a way, it's attempting to take away from everything that he did, all the training he did, all the game planning he did, and most importantly, the execution that he had on fight night itself. It attempts to diminish that. It attempts to take away from that. That's bogus. That man earned what he got. You know, you can't do that. And historically speaking, one of the stories that I heard was, if you think about Hagler Hearns, one of the most legendary fights in the game. Awesome. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you immediately pause this tape, go back and watch it. 3-round war. Beautiful fight. Beautiful fight by both men. Okay? Now, Tommy Hearns at the time was trained by Emanuel Stewart. Okay? He was known as a knockout puncher, right? Same thing. He had that right hand, tall and lanky, and he would get it out there, man, and he would zap guys. Boom, drop them out of there, make them disappear. So he breaks his hand in the first round of that fight on Marvin Hagler's head. Okay? Gets out there, throws a big shot. I mean, it's just pace is out of control, aggression's out of control. Both men are just dropping bombs. He breaks his hand in the first round. Keeps going, ends up getting knocked out in the third round. Okay? Emanuel Stewart told him, do not mention that in the post-fight interview. Do not bring that up. Why? Because of how much respect he had for Marvin Hagler and the fact that he didn't want to do anything to take away from Hagler's victory. That's a man with honor. Respect for the game, respect for other fighters, and conducts himself in an honorable way. He let the story come out like a week or two later, once the press had died down a little bit, and he let it be known. And that's great. That's awesome. I'm not saying like lock it up, guard it, throw it away, never talk about it, but you don't talk about it this soon after the fight because it comes out as an excuse and an attempt to diminish from the other man. You know, I just think it's bad. It's not good. Above and beyond everything else, it's not the way to go about things. It's not the way to conduct yourself. So I think it's not going to age well. It's not going to make him look great in people's eyes. But hey, it is what it is. So why is he saying it? Right? I mean, that's the big thing. Why is he saying it? I honestly believe that he believes it's the truth. Really. Now you think about that. Why? Why would he? I honestly, really, truly believe that Deontay Wilder believes what he's saying. He's not making up a story. This isn't smoke and mirrors, right? And let me give you a little bit of insight into the psychology of not only an elite athlete, but particularly a puncher to his degree. They live and die off of confidence. 100% live and die off of confidence. It's not so much what you can do, it's what you believe you can do. He can't accept the fact. He can't reconcile it in his own mind that he came out there and got smoked like that. Right? That another man was able to put that type of a beating on him, that he wasn't able to land his right hand and cause damage. He's not able to compute it, right? And I get that because he's never experienced anything like that before. So it's really tough for him, right? So what's he do? He starts to immediately, the brain just subconsciously starts to grasp for things, starts to look for things. Well, this was wrong. This was wrong. Well, you didn't feel right. It was the nervous energy. You were tired from the costume, you know, the walkout outfit way too much, and your legs were shot. Just all kinds of things, right? Because for him to be able to move forward in his career and continue to be successful, he has to have that confidence and belief in himself, right? It's one of those things. It's the double-edged sword. The same thing that got you here is the same thing that could bring you down. A big part of it is his confidence that's got him to this point. Believing that even though he started late, believing that he's the smaller guy, or even though that he started late, even though that he's the smaller guy, even though he's not as polished and as well trained, still believing in yourself 100% to go out there and get the job done against guys who have been training longer, guys who have been around boxing their whole life, guys who have more wins than you, guys who have more fights than you, guys who have a higher skill level and footwork or whatever the case may be. He never believed that any of those men were going to beat him, and up until his fight with Tyson Fury, they didn't. He got every one of them out of there, up to and including people that came from, like Luis Ortiz, that came from Cuba. I mean, that island has arguably the most respected boxing program in modern history that we've seen. Look at the amateurs that come out of Cuba when they fight. Man, nobody wants to fight those guys, right? Look at the population of Cuba, how small that island is, and the amount of gold and the amount of medals that they've taken in boxing in the Olympics. It is completely outsized to their population. And these guys that ended up coming over and turning pro, look at the success they had. And then look at the guys that they had that didn't even turn pro. Like Stevenson, I think his name was Louis Stevenson, the heavyweight who was around during Ali's time. I think he won 2 gold medals, and they were constantly trying to offer him money to turn pro, but he wouldn't do it. You have some incredibly talented people that come out of there, right? Most recent one being Luis Ortiz. Knocked him out twice. Think about that. Knocked him out twice from the Cuban school of boxing. Like, his belief level is through the roof. His confidence level is through the roof, Deontay Wilder's. And he earned it, man. Good for him. And it's that psychology that's both led him to these great heights, could very well continue to lead him on to even more great things, but it's also the one that's allowing him to believe what he's saying right now. He just can't accept that loss. And I get that. But I think it would be a little bit better if he did it behind closed doors, talking to his inside circle and his team, versus putting it out there in the public eye. But it is what it is. Guys are going to do what they're going to do. I just started hearing yesterday, I think it came out from Shelly Finkel and a couple other people, that he's going to accept the rematch too. Woo, man. I don't know. I would have advised him against it, but again, it's the same type of thing. At the end of the day, it's up to the man himself. He can receive all the advice in the world, and I don't know what people are saying behind closed doors. If they're telling him he should, if they're telling him he shouldn't, if he's going with advice, not going with advice, whatever it is. But the rumor is that he's accepted. He's going to activate that rematch clause, so we're going to see it again. And like I said in an earlier video, and I'll say it again, he does that, he's getting knocked out sooner. I think Tyson got him in the 7th round or the 8th round, whatever it was. He's going to knock him out quicker in the trilogy fight. Like, it'll be like a 5th round knockout or a 4th round knockout. Okay? It's an age-old adage in boxing. You knock a man out, you knock him out quicker in the rematch. And I'm telling you, it's absolutely going to hold true with these two guys if they fight a 3rd time, particularly if he doesn't take any tune-ups in between. I think it would happen regardless, but it's going to happen 100% for sure if he doesn't take any tune-up fights in between. So I'll be interested to see if that actually plays out or if it's just a rumor that we're hearing. But, I mean, if it's coming from Shelly Finkel, obviously that's as reliable a source as you're going to get, being he's a part of Deontay Wilder's camp. So, but it'll be interesting to see, man. It'll be interesting to see. But either way, not a big fan of this costume excuse, this walkout outfit coming out. I mean, you refer to yourself as the baddest man on the planet. You talk about things like, remember I think he did this interview on the Breakfast Club where he came out and he was like, I want to kill a guy in the ring. I want to be able to get one. Thought he got him with the Polish guy, Spolka, I believe his name is. And I think a lot of those things that he was saying at the time, I don't really think he feels that in the sense that he actually wants to go out and kill a man. I really don't. I don't at all. I believe that's a lot of promotion, that's a lot of propaganda, that's a lot of marketing, and I get it, right? You refer to yourself as the baddest man on the planet and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that reflects his character as a human being, as an actual individual, right? But you go out and you say all those kinds of things like that, you got to suck it up when you take an L. But it's not the path he's chosen to take on this one. So, love to hear what everybody else thinks about it. Really looking forward to see what comes next with both of these guys. So, we'll stay tuned.